So good day everyone, my name is Stephanie Major Romero and I will be reporting the tourism planning. So at the end of this chapter, you should be able to define, explain the reason for tourism planning, discuss the consequences of inadequate or poor planning process, compare tourism in developed countries with that of developing countries, clarify the rules and responsibilities of tourism planning, explain the barriers to planning, and analyze the tourism planning process. So, meaning of planning. Planning is a dynamic process of determining goals, systematically selecting alternative courses of actions to achieve those goals, implementing the chosen alternatives, and evaluating the choice to determine if it is successful. The planning process regards the environment, which includes political, physical, social, and economic elements as interrelated and interdependent components which should be taken into account in considering the future of a destination area. So the planning process is essential as it provides plenty of resources and information for travelers while ensuring that the location and local businesses provide everything needed to improve their tourism. In tourism planning, every factor is considered ranging from finding a variety of accommodations to fit travelers' different wants and needs to locating special programs and activities in that location. So, reasons for tourism planning. Tourism planning is greatly needed. The stagnation and decline of a destination or attraction may be due to the lack of planning or poor planning. According to the destination life cycle concept as defined by Blog 1973, destination areas tend to rise and fall in popularity according to the whims of those in the predominant psychographic groups to which they appeal at different stages in their development history. So psychographic means is a qualitative methodology of studying consumers based on psychological characteristics and traits such as values, desires, goals, interests, and lifestyle choices. So psychographics in marketing focus on understanding the customer's emotions and values so you can market more accurately. As the destination area becomes more widely publicized and better known, it loses its appeal to the allocentrics. So allocentric means or no, in other words, or is wanderers or a tourist who seeks new experiences and adventure in a wide range of activities. This person is outgoing and self-confident in behavior. An allocentric person refers to a fly and to explore new and unusual areas before others do so. So kani mga allocentric kay mo na siya kanang mga kuan kayo nga tao ba ng explorer mubuhat og mga wide range nga mga activities, nga ng mga outgoing kaayo, so na siya. So they are replaced by the mid-centrics who gently outnumber the allocentrics in the population. So the mid-centric travelers falls between the allocentrics and psychocentric type. This is a person who isn't exceptionally adventurous but is still open to new persons. So ang mid-centric kay more siya og kanang bali og personality di gid ingon nga bali jud kaayo sila sa allocentric pero kini sila nga mga mid-centric sila mga tao nga kanang dili adventurous but still open sila sa mga new experiences. So mao na sila nya ang kanang mga mid-centric kay preferred nila ang mga destinations for this type of travelers are cultural, historical, and even ecological. So Plug believes that the med-centric appeal stage in the destination area's history is similar to the maturity phase of the product life cycle when sales volumes are at their peak. So eventually, as time progresses, this destination area can be done loses its appeal to the mid-centrics who are then replaced by the psychocentrics who, like the allocentrics, represents a much smaller proportions of the population. According to Plug, the psychocentric stage is the final point in the destination area's life cycle because it has lost its appeal to both the market innovators and the mass market. One of the most important messages of Plug's hypothesis is that destination areas can carry with them the potential seeds of their own destructions if they allow themselves to become over-commercialized and to discard the unique appeals to which made them popular in the first place. Although Plug's concept appears to suggest so, the first step would be to hold development to a particular level in order to maintain the integrity of the area. The second would be to have a rigid development plan to which developers must conform. The third would be to develop new attractions that stimulate new growth. Consequences of lack of tourism flaming or poor tourism planning. The following are the symptoms of inadequate or poor tourism planning. And the first one is A, physical impacts. Damage or permanent alterations of the physical environment, damage or permanent alterations of historical, cultural landmarks and resources, overcrowding and congestions, populations, and traffic problems. B. Human impacts. Less accessibility to service and tourist attractions for local residents, resulting in local resentment. Dislike of tourists by local residents, loss of cultural identities, lack of education of tourism employees in skills and hospitality, and lack of awareness of the benefits of tourism to the destination area. C. Marketing impacts. Failure to capitalize on new marketing opportunities, erosion of market shares due to the actions of competitive destination areas, lack of sufficient awareness in prime markets, lack of clear image destination area in potential markets, lack of cooperative advertising among individual operations, and inadequate capitalization and packing opportunities. So D, organization impacts. Fragmental approach to the marketing and development of tourism, often involving competitive splinter group, lack of cooperation among individual operators, inadequate representation of the tourism industry's industry interests, lack of support from local public authorities, and failure to act on important issues, problems, and opportunities of common interests to the industry. Other or E, other impacts, lack of sufficient attractions and events, high seasonality, and short lengths of stay, poor or deteriorating quality of facilities and services, and lastly, poor or inadequate travel information services.
So, good day everyone. I'm here to continue the report of RICA. My name is Crystal Memrosas. So first, rules and responsibilities for tourism planning. In communities countries, all planning is done by the national government. In democratic countries, the government and the private sector play a valid role in the tourism planning. Experience shows that the process of joint participation and close cooperation of the private and government sector produces the best results and that plans are more likely to be successfully implemented if the private sector is actively involved in the planning process. Tourism planning should take place in many levels within a country. The starting point for the tourism planning process in any country should be the development of a national tourism policy. This policy represents the basic foundation from which where more specific goals, strategies, objectives, and plans are developed. All tourism plans should be given the time spans and should be reviewed and modified at the expiration of their time spans. Since change is inevitable and continuous, it follows that tourism policy making and planning have to be dynamic processes. The lifespan of a tourism plan does not usually exceed 5 years. Review review to planning. The following are the barriers to tourism planning and the problems associated with Many people are against planning in principle, particularly within the free enterprise system. It is expensive. Effective tourism planning must be based upon detailed resource analysis and market research. The tourism industry is complex and diverse. A large number of government departments have activities and impinge on tourism. Tourism is characterized by few large businesses and various smaller enterprises. These barriers to tourism planning, an increasing number of plans are produced each year around the world. There also indicates that tourism planning will be given a higher priority in the future and that more destinations will become involved in the important process. The tourism planning process. Planning is an ongoing process that must keep with the changing character of the following of the world and of the destinations are planning produce procedure follows step by step pattern. There are 5 essential steps in the tourism planning. Number 1, background analysis phases. Number 2, detailed research and analysis phase. And number 3, synthesis phase, goal setting, strategy selection, and objective setting phase, and plan develop phase. Background analysis. The first step in the tourism planning process is a situational analysis that provides the basic directions for the succeeding steps. This is the logical launching point for most tourism plans since most destination areas. In establishing a national tourism plan, the national tourism policy must first be considered and interpreted. Modes of travel to and within the destination area and past usage volumes, aircraft, bus, train, ship, private automobile. Visitation volumes and patterns by month or season. Geographical origins of tourists, geographical destinations of tourists, demographics such as age, income, education, occupation, and travel party composition, or trip purposes. Activity participation, market segments, length of stay in area, tourist expenditure within the area, and usage of facilities such as accommodation, attractions, events, and recreational facility. That's all. Thank you.
Of modes of travel to and within the destination area and past usage volumes or aircrafts, bus, train, ship, private automobile. First, visitation volumes and patterns by month or seasons. Next, geographical origins of tourists. Geographical destination of tourists. Tourist demographics such as age, income, education, occupation, and travel party composition. Trip purposes, kanang activity participation, market segments or families with children, single, tour groups, business groups, lengths of stay in the area kung unsa ka dugayon imong pag-stay sa within kana nga area. Tourist expenditure within the area, usage of facilities such as accommodation, attractions, events, and recreational activities. Final step in the background analysis is a review of the major strengths and weaknesses and problems and issues within the destination area's existing tourism industry. So next is detailed research and analysis. So research should be concentrated in 4 distinct areas, which is resources, markets, activities, and competition. The first step in the resource analysis involves the preparation of maps identifying the location of major resources, and the last stage is the resource classification, ranking or grading of scope of appeal of the tourism resources of the destination area. Activities includes all the things the tourist can do while visiting the destination area. The detailed research analysis can assist in identifying the most competitive destinations, their individual strengths and weaknesses, and the steps to be taken to make the subject destination area unique among its competitors. Synthesis. This is where major conclusions regarding previous work are formulated. It is one of the most creative and important steps in the process. So the first step in the synthesis phase is the preparation of position statement. And the position statement indicates kanang where we are now with respect to the development, marketing, industry, organization, awareness, and other support services. And the second step is to determine where we would like to be or the desired future situation. It is useful for the destination area to verbalize these desired states in terms of tourism, development, marketing, industry, organization, awareness, and support services. So the third step in the tourism planning process is where major conclusions regarding the previous and formulated. It is one of the most important and creative steps in the process. Comprehensive tourism plans will produce conclusions on the 5 distinct subjects. First is tourism development. So, tourism development stands for the best services implementation in tour, travel, and transportation sector. Tourism agent provides a complete comfort level zone in hotels, food according to your taste, enjoy full journey under your budget. So example ani kay kanang investing in hotels, catering, or kanang sa restaurant. Next is tourism marketing. Tourism marketing is the collective name give to the various marketing strategies used by businesses within the tourism industry. Example, hotels and other forms of accommodation, along with airlines, car rental service, restaurants, entertainment venues, travel agents, and tour operations. Next is tourism industry organization. Tourism awareness. So it is defined as the way of acting in positive way for the benefit of the tourism and the local population, and other tourism support services and activities. Tourism This refers to the tourism infrastructure such as kanang sa resorts, accommodation industry, tourism sites, and travel agencies that offer and provide essential services to. So tourism activities example is climbing, trekking, and mountain biking, or camping. Goal setting is strategy selection and objective setting. If tourism is identified as a means of serving broader community goals, it makes sense to develop plans which more specific tourism development objectives. So these are generally defined through a continuing process in which various groups and organizations in a community work together towards common goals. A local planning authority, chamber of commerce, visitors bureau, or similar group should assume a leadership role to develop an initial plan and obtain broad involvement of tourism interest in the community. Public support for the planning process and plan is also important. So having a good understanding of tourism and the tourism system in your community is the first toward defining goals and objectives for tourism development. and the types of goals that are appropriate and the precision with which you are able to define them will depend upon how long your community has been involved in tourism and tourism planning. In the early stages of tourism development, goals may involve establishing organizational structures and collecting information to better identify the tourism system and the community. Later, more precise objectives can be formulated and more specific development and marketing strategies evaluated.
Plan objectives relating to goal number one. 1. Create new images of what Aticocan area has to offer to visitors that is much more than fishing and hunting. To develop and promote new attractions and facilities and events that appeal to a broad range of interests. Develop and promote new travel creation opportunities associated with the major activities of destination and pass-through visitors. To increase the visitors' market's awareness of the area's facilities, services, activities, and events. To increase awareness of the activities or opportunities afforded by the Aticocan area. To develop means of communication to stimulate visitors already within the area to take advantage of its tourism or recreational opportunities. Increase per capita visitors expenditures by capturing those segments of the visitors markets that have higher than average expenditures on vacation travel by increasing average length of stay and providing more spending opportunities. To improve the quality of existing tourism facilities or services in order to increase repeat patronage and to enhance positive word of mouth advertising. To develop facilities and services that can use during off-peak periods and develop vacation packages that can be sold year-round or during a specific season. Plan development. The last step of the tourism planning process is the development of the plan. The plan includes the actions needed to achieve the observed objectives, implement the strategy, and satisfy the planning goals. A comprehensive plan deals with the development, marketing, industry, organization, awareness, and support services. It takes each of the plan objectives and specifies the programs and actions required to achieve each plan objective. The roles and responsibilities of the public and private sector in carrying out these programs and actions. The specific development of marketing concepts and opportunities that will help achieve certain objectives. The funds required to carry out specific programs and actions, the sources of these funds, the timetable for carrying out specific programs and actions within the plan. The last one is the method of monitoring the success of the plan on a periodic basis during its term. Summary. Every destination area interested in tourism should be involved in the tourism planning process. Although tourism planning is costly and time-consuming, it is important for the preservation and conservation of the natural resources and the maintenance of the attractiveness of destination. The absence of tourism planning in a destination can lead to economic, social, cultural, and environmental damages and loss of market share. Tourism planning consists of numerous process and activities in the financing, developing, and marketing of a destination to attract visitors. It requires the cooperation and commitment of both the public and private sectors such as government officials, architects, investors, engineers, sociologists, economists, environmentalists, and other experts. Empirical studies throughout the world clearly show that the model destinations for successful tourism are those which rigidly follow the tourism or those which rigidly follow the tourism planning process.